It's the birthday Whisker Chan in the building. What's up? I just walked in. Y'all already know I just got out of work and I'm pre-recording this video. But anyway, guys, what is up? What is up, everybody? My wonderful Whiskribers, my wonderful Whisker gang, all my friends, all my family, what is up? Welcome back to another Whisker Chan banger video. And what do we have today? Well, I want to let you guys know that on Twitter, my friend DM'd me about some information that I actually need to look over. And I'm making that video about this. And you're probably saying, what is this? Xiao's nerfs. And what are his buffs? What are his nerfs and what are his buffs? Now, this is scheduled to change, so please don't be like, yo, this is misleading, you're not telling the right information. Well, this is scheduled to change. As you know, the character is not out yet, so there are a lot of things they're still fixing. But as of now, this is the information that we have right now as to what his nerfs and what are his buffs, you know? So, without further ado, let's get into this video. But before we do, you know I was going to say that. Let's go ahead, guys. If you are new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button down below because we hit 1,600 subscribers, guys. We hit that goal before the end of this year, and for that, guys, we are turning up. And it's crazy because we hit this on my birthday, so that's really crazy. But my birthday was probably yesterday. This is pre-recorded, like I said. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm gonna do something probably special, like probably a little giveaway a little bit later on, not like later, but a little like within this next week coming up. So because we hit that goal, we hit our goal, and we also hit past our goal. Y'all are amazing, so I'm definitely gonna get back to y'all. So for sure, let's look forward to that. And also make sure you smash the subscribe button down below. Join the subscribers on the grind to 1,700, baby. And also smash the like button down below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. Yes. What is up, guys? Alright, so as you know, we have a lot about Xiao. Like, we've seen closed beta test videos, we've seen stats and whatnot, we've seen him do these huge numbers like 44k crits on plunge damage, 22k on plunge damage. Well, sadly, the truth is that he's not going to be doing all that damage. Now, that does not mean he's going to be bad. That does not mean he's going to be bad at all. He's going to be very viable still because they didn't nerf him to the point where he's not playable, unlike Zhongli. So anyway, let's go ahead and go over these nerfs, these buffs, and like I said, these are scheduled to change, right? So as you can see, the normal combo is about 6% better per hit. This is a buff to him. Now has a charge attack in addition to plunge. What does that mean? We don't know if that's a buff or a nerf. That's why the question marks are there. And we also have the damage bonus from elemental burst is about 6% lower. So that's a nerf. Now that kind of sucks because when you go in his elemental burst, he literally just destroys the field with all his elemental animal damage. So that really does suck right there. But it's okay. It's only by 6%. 6% is a lot. But at the same time, at least it's not like 10 or 20, right? So now we have his elemental burst now costs 80 energy. Now it goes from 60 to 80. Now I was discussing when I was going over that closed beta test footage of Xiao, which was like I think my last video. It was about how his energy, he had an energy cost of 60 for his elemental burst, but he got his energy back so fast from doing lymphatic when cycling. So I don't know if they made it 80 because you get your elemental you get your energy back faster. So definitely, I mean, that is a very costly energy. Like that's as much as Gon used. So it's like it's really costly, but at the same time, it's gonna be really rewarding. But they're not like the sad thing is they're not gonna buff any of like how long is he gonna stay in this form. They're not gonna buff that. They're gonna leave it at from 15, and then you get the max level to 17 seconds, right? So that sucks. That is 80 energy now, so you can't like spam it. But that's also balanced because even though he really was revolved around that, he's still really viable for white damage as well as animal damage from his lymphatic when cycling. So elemental burst now has a 20-second cooldown up from 15 seconds. That's a nerf. And also his elemental burst now drains % current HP rather than max HP. It used to actually drain max HP, like it would be like 2% of your max HP, meaning that you have like 20,000 health. It's going to drain 2% of 20,000 health. No matter how low you go, it's still going to drain 2% of 20,000 health. But now you have 20,000 health, it's going to drain 2%, and say for example you fall down to 15,000 health. Now it's going to drain 2% of 15,000 health. You see what I'm saying? So that's actually a buff, so it's really good. His health isn't going to go down too much. And also, the talent that increases animal / charge attack damage has been removed, which is a nerf. That is why, that talent right there was why he was doing tons of plunge damage in those CBT videos, right? Because he had that, it was like, you could max this talent out. That's why it was broken. You could buff this talent, you can max it out, get increased ammo and increased charge attack damage and just destroy the field, right? That's why he was so OP, especially plus the build and plus Noblesse Oblige being broken, right? So now we have his Ascension 4 talent now increases damage of E by 15% each stack. So, and this is up from 10%. This used to be 10%, now it's 15. That's a buff. See, what I like about this is I don't see a lot of nerf. What I see is nerf, buff. So it's like this. It's an equal exchange, but it's also not going to be an overpowered exchange. So they're making him basically balanced. They're not making him busted. They're not making him broken. They're not making him not viable at all. They're making him balanced. They're trying to balance him out and find a way to get him in between to where he can be a unit that's playable and also a unit that is not too crazy, right? So that's what they're doing, and it's actually not that bad. And also remember, this stuff is scheduled to change, so they're probably going to realize some things and change more. Now we have Overworld passive now reduces fall damage by 50% and climbing stamina cost by 20%, up from 30% fall damage. So that is a buff. We get a buff from that, which is really cool because, like, if you jump too high with Xiao, you know, you reduce the fall damage by 50%, and you're not going to really, like, take too much damage. So that's really cool. And then we have Constellation 6 now lets him ignore the cooldown of E rather than reducing it by 1 second. So it used to reduce it by 1 second, but now it just ignores the cooldown. Meaning your Constellation, once you get him C6, if you get him C6, you literally just can do it. There's no cooldown. That's it. There's nothing. Right, so that's really cool. And as you see right here, it says comparison between a showcase from CBT and current values on Honey. As always, subject to more change until release. Like they said, it is subject to more change. Now I want to go over a little bit about this unit and show you exactly what they updated through the CBT and through the Honey website of Xiao, right? As you can see, we have Xiao, guys. He still has the same, you know, stat progression and whatnot. Still the same essential materials. Still the same animal damage once you level him up. Still the same multipliers on his normal and charged, right? Lymphatic Wind Cycling still has the same thing, same multipliers, except the passive changed basically it going from 10% plus damage for the next Lymphatic Wind Cycling to 15%. So that's a buff, right? So anyway, let's go down. We have his Bane of All Evil, guys. This is where he goes in Yaksha form. This is what they nerfed it. Because right here it says it greatly increases Xiao's jumping ability. This is what we're looking at. If he releases, like say for example he released right now, this is probably what he would be. But like they said, it's scheduled to change, so this might shift around like before we get him, right before we get him probably. So greatly increases Xiao's jumping ability. That is guaranteed because, you know, he's basically based off plunge damage. Once he goes into this form, that's where you're going to get all your damage from. And this increases his attack, AoE, and attack damage. And it also converts attack damage into animal damage, which cannot be overridden by any other elemental infusion. In this state, Xiao will continuously lose HP. This effect of this skill ends when Xiao leaves the field, right? Or when it runs out, right? So, as you can see, like they said, they buffed it. Thank God it's not 3% of max HP. Imagine getting drained for like 3% of 20,000 when you're on like 1,000 health. That's just gonna be so bad. You're gonna lose all your health really fast. So it's good that it's 3% of current HP because 3% of 1,000, you get what I'm saying. It's gonna like slowly tick, and like the more health you lose, the more it slows down. You know, so it can last longer in the form, so you won't lose too much health. And like they said, the energy cost is 80 now. It's not 60 how it was in CBT. I can show you. I'm gonna show you the CBT footage right after we discuss this. But these are this is basically the current Xiao that we're looking at. These are the things that they buffed. These are the things that they nerfed and whatnot. So that's really good that we got a buff on his HP. But it is sad that we lost some normal and charge attack damage bonus, right? Like 6% I believe we lost. So that's it sucks, but at the same time it's a fair trade for what they're giving us in return. It's not like they're just nerfing the unit and not giving us anything. They're nerfing and buffing to make the unit balanced, right? So we have the duration, which goes up to from 15 to 17 seconds, and the cooldown is 20 seconds, as you can see, and you know the energy cost. These are the essential materials. They haven't changed as well, guys. If you want to look at these, go ahead. And also we have his passives. Now, as I said, they did buff his passive. They didn't do anything to his Conqueror of Evil, Tamer of Demons, I believe. Like, they just left that alone. I think that just stayed the same. So that's really, really good. You're still going to get that maximum damage bonus of 25%. As long as you stay in the ability, you get the 5% for every 3 seconds. The ability is alive and you're in it, right? So now we have the Dissolution Eon Heavy Fall, right? Using your Lymphatic Wind Cycling increases the damage of the next Lymphatic Wind Cycling by 15%. It's no longer 10%, it's 15%. So that is really, really good. And this, and the fact that it's it lasts for 6 seconds and then it has a maximum stack of 3, that's why Constellation 1 would be really ideal for him, because you get 3 charges and you could literally like space him out and get the max stack maybe, and then just do tons of damage to his Limb-Scatic Wind Cycling because of the Dissolution, Eon, Heaven Fall passive, right? So that is definitely to be taken into consideration. That's also why I say you should save a lot of Primal Gems for either Ayaka or for Xiao. It depends on who you really want the most, but Xiao, if you're gonna save for one of them, you really want Constellation, because they both have really good Constellation 1s, and all their other Constellations after that are extremely good as well, right? So, and by the way, gaining a new stack refreshes the effect's duration. So it can be refreshed and it could be rinsed and refreshed. You get it, right? So we have Constellations. Now they said they fixed the 6th one. As you can see, while under the effects of Bane of All Evil, hitting 2 enemies with Xiao's plunging attack will immediately grant him 1 charge of Limb-Scatic Wind Cycling for the next 1 second. He may use Limb-Scatic Wind Cycling without just no cooldown. So instead of it just saying, okay, we're gonna take Limb-Scatic Wind Cycling's cooldown just by 1 second. Nah, it's ignoring the cooldown. So basically, that part is kind of unfair, because they know that most players aren't going to be able to get a C6 Xiao unless they've been saving since the start and did every single mission, every single event, and maxed out everything and just haven't spent 1 Primal Gem. You're probably not going to get a C6 Xiao. So it kind of sucks for free-to-play players, but they do know that the players that pay, they're going to benefit most from this, and that's why this is a pretty decent buff for players that pay. If you're going C6, which costs a lot of money, I think over like $2,000 to get him C6 probably. So that is really about it for his buffs and his nerfs and everything. So let's go ahead and go over the video and show his closed beta strengths and all that, and show you exactly what they nerf. Because like I said, these videos, these closed beta videos, you shouldn't look at them and be like, yo, they're gonna be a strong character, because you gotta realize this was in closed beta test. I mean, they were testing this, they were seeing if this was gonna be viable to be live. Now they make changes all the time, like they're doing with Xiao, they're doing with Ayaka, they're doing with everybody. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's a little bit too strong, you kind of smack the hypostasis in 5 hits. Can't do that. Even though yes, we can smack bosses with like what 300,000 damage with Child, but we can't smack bosses 5 times with Xiao. It makes no sense, but it's the game, it's how they want to run this, right? So basically, let's go ahead and go over this closed beta test, and like I said, they're going to change everything, and everything in the closed beta test is no longer even viable. We're going to explain everything that's canceled out and everything that's nerfed. Okay, as you can see, we're in here, and this is the closed beta test. I think it's closed beta test 2, and this is where he's in the cryo domain, and as you can see, these ridiculous numbers, look, he's doing ridiculous numbers already, 30k, 20k, 40k, he does insane numbers, 29k. It's broken, right? So if you think you're gonna get Xiao and do all these numbers, you're sadly mistaken. You won't do, look, 45,000 crit, that's not happening. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna do decent numbers, right? You're not gonna do like broken numbers like these, and your Limb-Scatic Wind Cycling is gonna be stronger, that's good, but like I said, these numbers that you're seeing in these videos, they're not what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be doing something. It's not like you're gonna be doing like 3,000 damage. You're gonna do more damage than that. It depends on how you build your Xiao, but just know that these closed beta test videos are no longer viable since we know his nerfs and since we know his buffs now, right? So for sure, looking back at this is really, really cool. Like, we were all like, yo, he's gonna be insane and whatnot. Well, sadly, they nerfed him to the ground, and they also nerfed the Nobility Obliged set, which was broken at the time of closed beta tests when they were playing Xiao. They had a broken Nobility Obliged set, which was nerfed, and so that also comes into effect with the nerfs. Now, this does not mean, like I said, this does not mean the unit is bad. This unit is still going to be good. He's still going to be meta breaking, literally. There's not going to be anything wrong with the unit. And also, as you can see, this is when the HP was not buffed. I mean, yeah, when it wasn't buffed. This was when it was basically when you lose 2%, 3% of your max HP. So that's why he's so low in health. But now that it's 2% of current and whatnot, it's literally not going to even take us down that far. It's not. He used Yaksha form 3 times, of course. But like I said, it's not going to drain our HP that bad, especially once we have supports and whatnot to heal. It's not going to drain us that bad. So that's why also a plus to his buffs. That's why I said they're equaling him out to get a really good feel for him, to make sure they're safe and feel safe putting him in live. Now, they should have done this with Zhongli as well, because Zhongli, like, was a very big disappointment to the Genshin community, as y'all all know, and he still looks good. He's amazing. I love him still, but many Genshin community players they're not happy with Zhongli. That's why they're literally going to be buffing him, and it's going to take some time. He's probably going to be up in 1.3 when Xiao releases. So that's going to be something to look forward to as well. But like I said, these are scheduled to change. Now you know all the nerfs, and now you know all the buffs of Xiao and his differences. So now you probably won't have that hype. I know most of you are in my comment section letting me know, like, please don't hype the character, please don't hype. I'm letting you know right now that what were his nerfs and what was his buffs. He's still good, but also these are scheduled to change still. But I feel like it's very, very, very balanced what they did. So I feel like they don't have to nerf anything else. If anything, they could buff a couple of things. And like they could buff probably, honestly they could buff probably his, not his HP, but they could buff a little bit more of his damage maybe. But honestly, they really don't need to, because he's still going to be a good unit without it. So it doesn't matter. The 6% doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but we can't do anything about it, so it doesn't matter anymore. And this is what we got for Xiao right now. So once this updates and whatnot, I'm going to definitely update everybody on Xiao and his current state of where he's at. And this will probably be right before he releases, like 5 days before he releases, where I make this video. And I'll say, yeah, guys, these are his finalized stats, finalized nerfs, finalized buffs, and everything of that sort. But right now, this is what we have currently. Take this with a hint of salt. I will say this every single time in this video. So anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy. Honestly, I hope you still all save for Xiao, because he's still going to be viable. He's still going to be good. Just because they decreased a couple of numbers a little bit, they didn't even decrease it by a Jurassic number. Just because they increased the energy cost of his elemental burst, it doesn't make him any more worse, because he's still going to be insane in his Yaksha form. He's still going to be able to do this blunt damage. He's still going to look sick. He's going to have this cool character concept, cool character design, cool character attacks, everything. He's still going to be Xiao, guys. So don't worry. Do not fret. Do not even be sad. Just still summon for him. Save your Prime Legend for him. And definitely, this is the time to save Constellation if you possibly can. Because a C6 Xiao sounds crazy. Now that is a C6 Xiao. Basically, if you don't pull him at all in first pulls, if you do 2 pulls each time to get 1, that would be like 172,000 primos. So I'm pretty sure most of you do not have that. Not right now. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the most somebody probably has is like 50,000 primos. And that's good enough to at least get, I think, C3 Xiao, and C3 Xiao is actually really cool. Like honestly, if you could get any constellation for Xiao, it's good. It's just a plus, right? So definitely, these are his nerfs, these are his buffs, guys. I hope you did find this video very informational, to open your eyes to Xiao, to open your eyes, to open everybody's eyes that thinks he's going to be broken. I want to open those. I want to let you know that he is not going to be just like closed beta test. He's going to be a little nerf, okay? So for sure, take that in consideration. And yeah, thank you for everybody who came out to watch this video, and I hope you did enjoy, guys. And go ahead and comment down below if you're still going to be summoning for Xiao. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.